let's first talk about the program that you're involved with. It's a state program. Explain what you do and what your program does.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do a lot here as the Department of Agriculture in Arkansas for farm to school and early childhood education. We operate a couple grant programs focused on school gardening, and we've also been expanding our efforts in the local procurement aspect as well. So helping schools get local food into their school menus or into their snacks at an early child care center. So we also operate a taste test grant program. And then the Harvest of the Season promotional program is something we also just recently launched with flyers and posters and materials that schools can use to kind of advertise what kind of Arkansas grown foods they're using in their menus.
So you're working with farmers and helping get their products in schools.
Yeah, so I have a state local procurement manager on the team, and so she's kind of handling that aspect of things, the procurement side, and then we're also about to hire our state school garden manager to start in a couple weeks as well, and so she's kind of doing that same thing on the school garden side of things, offering technical assistance and resources and support to schools to start school gardens on their campuses as well.
So the effort here is to really get schools involved in planting gardens. How has that gone? Are there a lot of schools that take part in this?
Yeah, another great question. So there's roughly, we know of almost 340 school gardens across the state of Arkansas. So we're supporting those through the resources on our websites, and then we're supporting kind of a smaller group through our grant programs, including the one we're talking about today.
Talk about that. Is this a contest of sorts?
Yeah, so just recently the applications opened up for the 9th annual Arkansas Grown School Garden of the Year contest. So this is open to any schools, early childhood education facilities, and alternative learning environments that either have had a school garden this last school year or are hoping to start a school garden in this upcoming school year. So schools can win in 6 different categories. So for those schools that are hoping to start a school garden in the upcoming school year, they could win under the Startup School Garden proposal category. And then we have 5 other categories for schools that have existing gardens that have never won in our contest before. The Best Education-Based School Garden, the Best Harvest Partnership School Garden, the Best Community Collaboration School Garden, and then the Best Overall School Garden. And then there's one last category for schools that have won before in our contest, and they're eligible only under one category, which is the Champion of School Garden Sustainability. So those are those schools that we see have been gardening for years and have really built up really great sustainable school garden programs.
How do they get entered?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So schools are able to apply through an online application. It's fairly simple, and that application is open up until June 5th of this year. So got about a month or so left to apply.
What does this do for the schools and for the kids?
Yeah, that's a great question. So school gardening is a really great opportunity for kids to get their hands in the dirt, learn a bit about where their food comes from, learn more about, tying those state standards, learning in the classroom in a hands-on environment, whether that's science, math, even tying the garden to art. So there's a lot of really great opportunity in the garden for kids to just learn about agriculture and where their food comes from and how to make better eating habits. And those can also have really great lasting effects on the kids themselves, but they usually take that back to their families and start making changes in the home too.
You mentioned there are 300 plus school districts or schools involved in this. How does a school become a part of this program in general?
So schools all across the state can decide to do farm to school in a variety of ways, whether that's starting a school garden, doing local procurement. And so as a state, we try to track those things, but I'm sure that's why I say there's at least 300 school gardens, because I'm sure there's schools out there doing it already, not realizing they are participating in farm to school. So there's really no barriers to participating in farm to school, but If you're hoping to get started and don't know where to start, a great place would be going to our Arkansas Farm to School website. It's arfarmtoschool.org. And we have a ton of great handouts on there. Anytime we've done webinars, we keep recordings of those on our website. So those are also really great videos to go back and watch and learn from experts in our state who are already doing this work, if you're hoping to start a school garden at your school.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned that the kids get a lot out of this. I'm assuming their parents get a lot out of this.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot more kind of community and parental involvement in the school garden, especially throughout the pandemic. A lot of schools had to kind of shift the way they did their school gardening programs, whether that because they couldn't have, the staff that were outside staff were maybe not able to visit the school anymore. So in that way, I saw schools shifting to like take home meal kits that they got to send home from the garden to their families. And then their families could learn how to use garden produce and cook some kind of new recipe at home. So we definitely see effects past the student themselves and into their families as well.
I wonder how many families actually start gardens at their house because of this program.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I'd love to know that too.
All right, Erica, thank you so much. Again, where can schools register for this or sign up for this? And then if there is a website that people can would like to have more information, where do they go?
Yeah, for more information, just generally on Farm to School in the state, the website is arfarmtoschool.org.
Well, I appreciate your time. Sounds like a fantastic program, and I hope a lot of schools sign up for this.
Yeah, me too. We're really excited to get to look and see all the applications we get this year and all the hard work that's gone into school gardenings in this tough time.